Hello.
Hiya.
Hiya. Everyone alright?
No.
You look out of breath, Craig.
Practical sprint today from Asda trying to get here for timing, and buses are just awful, aren't they? Just less said the better.
I can't believe
none of you lot know how to frigging reply. Just even an okay.
Could have asked for a lift, mate.
Nah, I won't put that on you.
I was driving. I don't believe in texting and driving.
I'd call bullshit.
No, well, I was playing chess, so my hands were already busy. So
Fair enough, yeah.
I saw your message
I know, you all did apart from Jimmy.
and didn't reply.
Yeah, I know.
did Jake see it?
Yeah, all did apart from Jimmy.
Okay.
I know.
Isn't he meant to be... Whatever.
Anyway, yes. Welcome to Bragging Rights. Proudly sponsored by Comscaff, should I say, and recorded right here at the home of the Pod Tribal. Just take a moment to please remind you to like and subscribe on all our platforms, and where possible, please click on that notification button, and you'll be the first to know when we drop anything new, episodes out like that. But before we begin today, we want to take a moment to remember and pay tribute to a much-loved member of the Hull FC family, Daniel Geddes. Daniel sadly passed away over the weekend, leaving behind brother Martin, sister Terry and mother Carol. Daniel was not only a dedicated Hull FC LDSL player, but also one of the club's most passionate fans, very rarely missing a game, and always showing his support with pride. The family's commitment to Hull FC runs very deep, with their continuous sponsorship of a first team player every season. Daniel's love for the club and his infectious enthusiasm will be sorely missed, and we send our deepest condolences to his family and friends at this difficult time.
Yeah, a bit surprising news that one.
Yeah, it was horrible news to hear.
It's never nice to hear of anybody passing, but I think when you know him personally as well.
I can't say I knew him personally. I know
roundabout
of his mother Carol. I have to say hello to and what have you. My brother-in-law James plays for the LDSL team, and he's spoke to him on Saturday.
What's that?
They've changed it from SL to RL, from RL to SL now. So yeah, my brother-in-law James, he's pretty torn up about it because he was very close to, and my mother-in-law is quite friendly with Carol as well when they go to the games together to support the boys. So yeah, massive shock and such a sad.
Yeah, it was good to see Hull FC actually acknowledging that fact as well. They put a big post out, didn't they? I saw, I think.
Well, they
shared it in the group.
Announced yesterday at the Player of the Season that was taking place on Monday evening, the Player of the Year awards. They're renaming the. Let me get this right. Player of the Season for the LDSL. They are renaming it the Daniel Geddes Award.
That's nice.
I think that's correct anyway.
It's a lovely touch, that.
Yeah, really
great.
nice. And so soon after as well to do that.
Yeah, very proactive. Very good to see.
Yeah, really good to see. And he was supposed to attend last night, and they placed some flowers or a bouquet of some sort on where he was supposed to sit. So yeah, lovely touch.
Certainly doing things right now. Hull.
Big time, yeah, definitely so.
And that's where it starts, doesn't it? It starts with the fans, basically.
Do you know the one thing that not the one thing, but something that stands out from that is, and we mentioned it pre-season when we were at that Q&A session at Middleton Hall.
Yeah.
Last season, I think it was the learning disability and the physical disability and the women's and the wheelchair and all that. They had a separate award ceremony.
I think they still do.
And they all had to pay for it. Whereas this year, I don't know if they had to pay for it or not, but it was all included. Now, maybe that was meant to be the plan last year, but the men's got called off because of the way that the season went. But
no, they still do. Speaking to brother-in-law James, they're still having their own awards. I don't know if they have to pay for it again like they did last year, but he wasn't at the award ceremony last night. But the lad who did win the award, who we'll get onto later on, he was there and he got presented his award with the first team, teams. Yeah. So
even if they do have their own, they're still being involved to the first team side of things which is good.
It does feel everything's more inclusive than it has been. I still think there's improvement in that, but it's I think it's heading in the right direction.
Yeah, look, it's really hard because Hull deserve the praise for the way they're going about things, sad things like this, but other things on and off the pitch this past year. You was so far behind last year and there was so many issues that almost nothing would be good enough this year.
And it was easy to pick up faults with Hull last year.
And the fact that you're starting to see praise from fans like yourself or even fans of opposing teams, even red and whites like us, shows that you are making that right move. So yeah, it's fair play and well done to FC, but obviously from the first point it is sad news, and we just sort of send our thoughts out to the family and everyone, friends connected to Daniel.
Well, you guys won and we lost, so normal service resumes, and it's you guys fair.
I had a little chuckle to myself on this because 2 weeks ago, before we played Wakefield, I was doing predictions and I was like, I can see us losing this. And there was like a bit of shock around the room. It was like, Josh, come on, you're going to turn Wakey over. And then we lost. And then last week, you all backed Hull. And I was like, I think Catalan have got this by about 8. And then you turned around, Dean, and went, I can see it. And I thought, and then
I definitely went with Hart for my pick last week.
And this is my point. When I look back at some of my predictions over the entire year, I've probably been waylaid by my heart a few times. Not even on Rovers results, just on other ones where I maybe have been like, Hull won't beat them. And then I should have really give you it. Or maybe even it's been like Saints and Wakey, I've been like, Wakey, you're good at the minute, but they're not good enough to go away to Saints on a Friday night with 5 injuries. And
then they did.
Yeah, it's real hard, isn't it? And I just remember sat chuckling to myself thinking, I've done really well to get a good score on a Grand Slam point this week, but that could have so easily been the complete opposite.
Yeah, it could have been.
All right, rub it in. But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Well, yeah. I got chowed at by Callum last time. Like, you went first. And then we followed, obviously, the week after. He messaged me and he was like, you need to sing Back Going First Again, ole ole. And I was like, I ain't singing that. I've said it. I'm not singing it. But anyway, we are first again. So, yeah, it was before the game. What a party. The music in the... I know I complained about the live music last time, taken away from the chanting, but this time they was playing all the songs that Rovers have adapted into chants, and from where I was stood, it looked like everybody either side was just joining in, singing along, great party atmosphere. And then it was like all of a sudden when the players came out, there was just a tension there. As soon as the players came out, it was like, oh shit, here we go.
It was, it was a party, and it did feel good, and I'm sure some people felt it was a foregone conclusion. I think most of the Rugby League world thought the result would be a foregone conclusion given who we was playing and the team that was out. But it did seem to change in an instant. It was so loud. It was great. It's one of the loudest renditions of Red Red Robin we've had this season before kick-off. One of the loudest renditions I've had of Eurasia, of A Little Respect. Probably even louder when I said a week ago or 2 weeks ago it was one of the loudest we've had. But it just seemed to change, and I think you really felt probably... We're in a fortunate position where we've got a lot of new fans and a lot of new faces, which happens when you're successful as a club. But it was almost positive in a way that I felt that heartbeat was still in the middle of the Rovers fans for the vast majority, where collectively we felt the nervousness and the tension and went, oh God, this feels bad. And not to like jump ahead too much, but as the game progressed for me, I put this originally in my notes, I said it to a few people, I think I put it in the group, I think you put something similar. I thought about it, I'm going to stand by it. I genuinely found myself more nervous in this game than I did at Wembley.
Yeah, very much so. Like, especially like,
why? Do you know why?
I've done a little bit of soul searching as to why. I think with Wembley, I don't think the win was expected. I think that it could have gone anywhere, and I think that we'd been in this position before. We'd lost a Challenge Cup final recently. We'd lost a grand final last year, and to get there, such an achievement in these big games that it almost felt like I could stomach it. But this almost felt like it would be bottling it. You never get a chance to defend your team and talk about how tough it was and how you had the toughest run in out of the top 6 teams, the toughest run out of the top 4 teams, not the top 6, and based on form, and how difficult it was and how, emotions of the night overcame you, and it wasn't that one game that lost you the league leaders. It's a season that loses you it. All of that just was rattling around your head and going, no, you'd just be known as the bottlers. And it just felt like the Rovers of old where, Rovers from 6 years ago where we didn't compete. We sometimes snuck into the playoffs, but you'd get scalps against your Wiggins and your Saints, but Ludes against your Huddersfields and your Wakeys. It just felt like that again, and for some reason, it just felt awful. And it did feel, in my opinion, for me personally, it felt more nerve-wracking than Wembley.
Yeah, I think the game at Wembley it settled into a rhythm really quickly. It was very sort of backwards and forwards, and then obviously Warrington got the try not far from half time and things like that. And you
Proper
sort of,
arm wrestle Wembley, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. So you sort of settled into it. Whereas this game at weekend just gone, should I say, it was a lot of off the cuff stuff. It looked like, and that's what keeps you excited. It keeps you nervous. It keeps that tension high. And I had my watch on, and I don't think my heart rate dropped below 110 for that full game. Yeah, at Wembley it was down in the 90s. So what that is, I don't know. Whether it's
I have never known of anyone tracking their heart rate at rugby.
after the fact where you can get like a thing.
I might start doing that. See what mine looks
Honestly,
like.
do it. Intense games, you get such an insight into what your body actually does. I know we're sort of segueing a little bit, but yeah,
Us on bragging rights, segueing away. No.
not too much though, because I've got it under control.
I've got an idea for some merch here, right?
Bragging
I'd
rights
like a
watch.
bragging rights heart rate monitor, and I want to send it to one lucky guy, and that is, he gets a shout out quite a lot recently, Mike Abel, right? And I'll tell you for why. When Warrington scored their second try that was disallowed, I saw him walking in front of the East Stand.
My heart sank.
Where's
at
he
that
going?
point.
Where's he going? And I joked to those around me, to my dad and to Susan, I said, oh, he's had enough, he's going already, knowing he obviously wasn't. And then he texted me on Saturday morning saying, I was that mad, I had to go for a walk to kind of calm down and sort it out. So I'd love to have seen his heart rate, because, yeah, I reckon that would have been through the roof.
Yeah, man sank at that point, and I was going to touch on that in a little bit, but it was very, very soft, the obstruction, but to the letter of the law, it is an obstruction.
I have no problem with it, not even red and white glasses. To the letter of the law, you can say Bachelor's played for it or not. He played to the letter of the law, and he's correct. The ruling's correct. So for me, it's one of them you rush past it. We see him a lot. Does it change the outcome of the game? No. But at the end of the day, did the Warrington player do something that was illegal in the rules of the game? Yes.
It was soft, but it's
Very.
by the letter of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely played for it, but how can you, when the referee's when the video ref's looking at it, he's got to go by the letter of the law, and yeah.
Yeah, because if there's no contact on Bachelor, he's another step or two further over to his right and probably gets a hand on Kai Taylor, which has probably influenced his decision a little bit. And I do think Bachelor did play for it 'cause he pulled his hand out a little bit. He sort of stumbles but then pulls back a little bit.
It was like when Mikey played for that penalty against Saints a couple of weeks ago, where
Oh no,
Bachelor,
that was absolute ridiculously foul play. We can't badmouth Mikey.
no, to the Bachelor, when he steps in, Mikey ran into him as he's trying to crab across the line in the defence, and that ended up being 2 points. And I think, did you win that game by 2 points in the end or something like that as well? So, but by the letter of the law, it's foul. And
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to give credit to Warrington. Obviously, they've been very low-key this season, shall we say, to be kind. Well, I was trying to be kind.
I don't
but
think you can say low-key. It's been really high-profile how bad they've been.
Well, yeah, all right then. We'll go with that.
Me
I
saying
think
that's
Dean-
All right
very-
then, they've been
it's still likely to
absolutely
what most of their
shit.
fans are saying.
Yeah, I think
Well,
Dean's assessment was more accurate.
Fair enough. We'll go with that then. I was just trying to be kind, give them a little bit of credit, and I really don't like Warrington, so that pained me.
It's their year next year.
Always. Yeah, their kids especially. They had a lot of players who you class as kids, maybe had a couple of first grade games, but they stood up and took the game to us. And like, you look at our pack compared to their pack, and you'd expect our pack to roll them down the field, and they just didn't. The number 40 for them who played loose man, he was very, very good.
So he wasn't 40 Ryan Matteson.
Matteson,
Yeah.
what was it? Yeah, he was very, very good. He reminded me a bit of Paul Vaughan.
Yeah. So obviously he's not a young kid, is he?
No, they're signing mid-season from
He's
Oz.
come off from
was
Oz.
it? Fair
So
enough.
he's saying, my dad.
That's why he was very, very
My
good.
He was
dad-
awful last week
my
against
dad,
us, though.
my dad made the same thing during the game. He kept
I thought it was a
calling
kid
out
'cause I didn't
40,
recognise
he's
his
big
name.
lad. No, he is a pro that's come over from. They're
Fair
all
enough.
pros, but
And then number
but he had a good
36,
game.
Ewan Irwin, who
Yeah,
played
now Irwin had a great game.
in the halves. He partnered Sneed very, very
That
well.
kick was real nice for, was it Stone's try early in the second half?
The one out on our left, yeah.
There was, for me, for Warrington and the young kids that played, and all the credit that goes to them because they did come and play. What you didn't see was a poor Warrington team give Rovers a fight. You saw a Warrington team that was full of kids that really had a good go. I'm not going to call them great, but really good. and had a good go. Enthusiastic. They showed a lot of aggression in the right way. They was up for the game. There's been a lot of discussion online afterwards around, where were these kids during the year when we were struggling? What you're seeing is the right way to run a team. These kids don't all need to be thrown in just when the season starts to go wrong. They're meant to be blooded in slowly. They're for the future. Warrington's problems are not because first team players weren't performing throughout the year and you can throw kids in. They have a host of problems that need solving. And so them kids, hopefully you will see them in the future. And there's a reason why their team was in the Academy Grand Final and a lot of them players were playing against us. So it's full credit to them. They did do well.
Yeah, massively so. Someone said to me, Warrington were by far and away the better side. And then at the time I was like, I can see that. But then I watched it back and it was like a game of 4 quarters. You know, the classic cliche game of 2 halves. But this one was like 4 quarters. They had the first 20, we had the second, they had the third, we had the fourth. And in our so-called purple patch, we did better than them basically. And that's how we came away with the win. But yeah, I thought it was quite a bit of a tongue-in-cheek sort of look at it.
The problem is your expectations in what you're looking at. You're looking at a Rovers team, you expected to steamroll them. So anything other than an absolute hammering, Warrington get that credit. For me, what you can't see on TV, but you know at the ground, the classic wind was coming off the docks and they had it in the first half. And in the opening 20-25 minutes, maybe even a touch longer, they was using that winter advantage. You know, Walker had 2 fantastic 40-20s where he used the wind massive advantage. The team was up for it. I expected them to tire. They didn't have a big pack on the bench to bring on interchange. They did tire, but it took them a bit longer than expected.
Them last 2 tries were, although great tries, clearly defensive tiredness.
Yeah, and our game plan obviously played into that. We had to go into the wind. It was a bit of a struggle for us. They lasted for 25 minutes instead of the 20 we expected, or maybe the 15 we expected. But in those 15 minutes in the second quarter of the first half, we just ran in 3 tries. And then the second half obviously went very similar in ways, but we managed to dig deep enough to get the job done. We didn't utilise the wind as much in the second half. We still did with Jezzy's amazing 40-20.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, for me, people don't like me saying it. You're looking at a knackered Rovers team, a team that has been largely unchanged apart from 4 and 5 positions. We've had Gildat out his back, he's showing a bit of rust. Broadbent moping around. Noah Booth had a poor start, but then a really good sort of 50 minutes after the opening sort of 20-30 minutes where he had a few mistakes. You're looking at a tired team that I think managed to get the job done, and we're looking forward to that time off.
Job done, week off, prep for a semi.
Look, it's hard because we're critiquing a game and overlooking the fact that we've done something historic. We've won the league leaders. We're only the 9th club to do it, and we are. And as I said, I was questioning this beforehand, but as you know, our owner took great pains to say in his post-match, the first whole club in 140 years to win the double stroke A double, and we have to celebrate it. It's massive, but we're sort of focused on not the great game because we're still eyes focused on a bit of a poor running.
After the season, you'll sit back, probably as the players will do as well, and then you'll think, oh yeah, what have we done? That's when it'll maybe hit you, sink in, and then you'll appreciate more what you've done. But you're still in mindset, we've still got something to play for, so that's maybe why.
That's what Peter said in his post-match, wasn't it? It was like 2 out of 3. Now we look at the next one, we want 3 out of 3. So
in how long?
So he said in 140 years, and
Is he just on about rugby?
Well, I don't know what he meant, because I was thinking, well, there have been years where obviously Rovers have won 2 trophies in a year. There have been years when I think FC's got a year where you won 3 out of 5 cups / trophies / dinner plates.
Like early 80s.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he was referring to.
Hey, the old Vikings in 2004 won the treble.
In terms of
the
treble.
The treble.
Yeah. In terms of the league leaders and the Challenge Cup, yeah, we are the first full team to do it, but Super League's only been around for 13 years. So it was just, I didn't really get the
this
message.
is something I tried looking up the other day, like trying to find, like, in terms of like league leaders, because obviously at the minute it's just referred to as the league leaders. But then you try and look at it in the past and you're like, there's so many different definitions of champion and all that sort of stuff in rugby league. And I wish they'd just consolidate it all and just say, right, who won the top league in terms of who finished top of the top league, list them as league leaders, so we've got a full list of everything going right the way back, so I can actually see like how many times have Hull finished top of the top league, how many times have Rovers finished top of the top league and been the league leaders. I wish they'd just consolidate it all and make it easy.
I know,
but it's so hard to find.
What do we?
Points for sort of wrapping up, Craig. I've got a couple. Of you got some?
Just grit and determination. Obviously, a lot of things didn't go our way that have gone our way earlier on in the season, such as the flow of the game, kicks from Mark Sneed. You alluded to it. You've sent me a message earlier, Josh, that does Sneed ever have a bad game against us? Even that kick for Morg's try was a superb kick. The chase was good.
Yeah.
Morg just managed to spin round, find a little nook, and he was gone. And credit to Kai Taylor-Ray, because Morg had a 10-yard head start on him, and he nearly caught him. So
yeah, when Humberside rang me post-game, and shout out to Humberside for listening to me, and they gave me a grace period to enjoy the celebrations. But
oh, did they?
Yeah, it was still quite loud, and I tried to get away a bit just at the end of the celebrations. But they asked me directly about the feelings of that try, Morg's try. And all I could talk about was that I was too busy congratulating him on taking what was an incredibly high bomb, a really tough ball to take, before I even realised he'd sort of struggled free and managed to go down the field. So, but yeah, it was an incredible try. For me, I was pleased for a few things. I thought Tyrone May had an outstanding performance. Booth got man of the match in the ground. Not right. Tyrone May was our best player on the pitch.
I've got Rovers' first try, May running the ball, eyes wide open.
I've got that scruff of the neck.
And then his second try, May running again, eyes wide open emoji.
Oh, that second try, everyone around us was like, pass the ball! And then all of a sudden he turned, handed off, and there was a big gaping hole, and he swan dived over, and it was like, I ended up about 3 or 4 steps down, nearly broke my ankle, and it was at that point I knew we'd achieved what we wanted to.
It's one of the reasons May gets the negative sort of attention from Rovers fans. I think they want to see him go more, and that's obviously not so much in the game plan. They feel like when he does go, he can really make gaps, make breaks, and make effort, and he does like to play Medina suit. You're lucky if you get one play of the ball in a game, let alone 1.5 from him, because he doesn't like to be tackled.
I said he's used up his quarter allowance when his first tackle.
But yeah, I thought it was phenomenal on the night. I think a few players had great games. I think he did. I think Booth came through a bit afterwards. I was particularly pleased for Gildart and a couple of others. I think Martin as well, who didn't get to lift the trophy in the Challenge Cup final. Obviously, part of our squad helped us build there, but wasn't there on the day because they was injured. Was obviously part of the celebrations, but didn't get to play. For them to play on the day, to then get the league leaders medal and stand in front of the shield, was very good. I enjoyed seeing the play. I enjoyed seeing that for them, especially people who give so much.
I love the fact that it's you taking the piss out of it, because
it had to, didn't it?
We had such a long debate the other day about what to post and like how to post it and stuff. And I put a post together, and it had a trophy to resemble the Challenge Cup, didn't it? And it had the emoji of the dinner plate with a knife and fork next to it.
Yeah.
And Susan was like, "No, can't put that. That's ridiculous. Can't put that." And I'm like, every single person, all Rovers fans, the lot, we've all called it either an up cap or a dinner plate at some point in our lives, and you'll do it again. Like, it's all a bit of banter. It is the dinner plate.
I just love the fact that tomorrow night Craig's gonna be serving tea up and be one plate short.
Which one of your kids is just eating off the
Dad,
table?
why is my burger in a bowl?
I couldn't do the Super League logo, so I just did one of the old school S's.
Wow. One thing I wanted to note on it though, as we are wrapping up, when people are too busy looking, as a Mikey Lewis lover, people are looking for Lewis to call him out for bad games or quiet games and things like that. There was 2 massive moments in that game where Mikey did Man of Steel level movements. The first one was when we scored a try.
Noah Booth's first try.
Booth's first try.
I know exactly
the ball comes out, Mikey takes it, there's an offload. Sorry, I'm lying to you. We put a kick up. Martin gets high and knocks the ball back. Mikey takes it but comes to his knees as he's taking it, but ball carrying arm doesn't come down. And I'll show you if you're watching, if you're listening, I'll try and describe it. But the way he offloads the ball is he offloads it behind his back like this. He pops it up to the man here, who's then easy as the pass out where we've got the overlap. But the offload is audacious. But on a quick watch, you don't realise that's what he's done.
Like Rangi Chase.
I was just going to say, if that's Rangi Chase, everybody's waxing lyrical about it.
And that gives us the overlap because it pulls that defender in. It's fantastic. And that's how we get that edge in that first half, and the tries come after that. And we're sort of going at half-time feeling confident.
It looked like you found your rhythm as well just before half-time.
And that came from a bit of Mikey magic. And then the second one, I don't want to say big moments and big big plays and big players make big plays in big games. Because it isn't a big game, but it is because we win the league leaders from it.
It
But
was for us, yeah.
on the
It was a very big
65th
game.
minute, they go for a dropout that they ultimately win. Whether it was knock on or not is to be debated. But the ball ends up in the arms of the Warrington man. They're on about our 35. And, there's 2 points in it at this point. Mikey just ball steals it. Now, it didn't seem like a big thing to do, but in that heat of the moment, he manages to get down in the nick of time just before Dean Adley gets to as the second man of the tackle, steals the ball back, runs in and makes 5-10 yards. And then we've got a repeat set, which we should have had from a dropout. But their heart and determination from their youngsters to win that ball back. But Mikey's one that wins that, and lo and behold, 2 minutes later, Tyrone Main's swan diving over to give us ultimately the absolute winning try, and the mood completely changes. And it's 2 moments for 2 tries where once again you've got Man of Steel level of moments from a player that gets too much negative attention.
It's the thought in that, like when I watch that bit back, it's the thought in that moment for him to think, nah, I'm just having that ball.
It's game recognition, isn't it?
Yeah. It's 99% of players would have made contact with that Warrington player and just put him on his backside, or held him up and waited for the second man to come in and put him on his backside. But he didn't. He was just like, nah, balls, man. See you in a bit.
The thought would have been defend and see this game out, but not in his head at that point.
Not in Mikey's head. Mikey does Mikey things, doesn't he? But
My ball. You're not playing with it.
yeah, my ball. I'm going home.
For me, it is a shout out to the team for what we've achieved this year, for how much the memories we've had. In a weird way, I almost enjoyed how close the game was, just for the excitement after the fact. But as we said, the nerves were killing us during.
Yeah, because as neutral fans, that's what we want. Like,
It's funny.
I know we weren't neutral because we were part of it, but as a neutral, what a game that must have been to watch, because it was backwards and forwards, it was seesaw.
Can I just say from an outsider view, and not on you personally, but it shows to me, the results ultimately didn't change anything. But what a cock up from the RFL. We said it last week.
Yeah.
You doing that and your game being in the balance, and that information could have been passing on to the DW, and how boisterous their crowd would have been getting, and how the excitement would have been for the people watching. And then you've got our game, where our game was a bit to and fro at times. You've got Salford then 12-0 up at a point, and that news coming back to the MKM. What a trick! Just missed.
Missed it,
and it's
absolutely.
Like it could have. It was great for you guys, but Super League missed a trick big
Like, look
time.
at what match of the day do on the last game of the season,
Oh, they're all the
where
same
they do
kickoff
like
every game.
a time loop sort of thing, and it's great to watch. But yeah, we absolutely missed.
The results didn't change anything at
No,
the end of the
but-
day, but
No, but that
It adds
product.
that jeopardy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
fun. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'd say my final thing on Rovers would say, I loved it. I've loved the season so far. The celebrations were fantastic. Great memories. On that point you've raised, though, Dean, on Friday night, could be a combination of a million things in my life, but I actually found myself not really attracted to a game of rugby. I found myself flicking through the games that were on because it felt like there was nothing to play for anyone.
didn't watch
there
anything.
wasn't.
I
And
watched the Salford game just because I wanted to see
Yeah.
how Salford went, because there was nothing on any of the other games because they were pretty much
I didn't
settled.
watch the other games.
Yeah, it just didn't do anything for me, and they really did miss a trick. It was poor from
Yeah.
the RFL. Anything
Yeah,
to close from you, Craig? Sorry.
No, I don't think so. Just what a season at the end of the day. And if we don't make the grand final, if we don't win the grand final, doesn't define our season. What a season we've had. It'll live long in the memories. Yeah, we'll suffer a bit of ribbing in the short term, but then when we look back, it's like, what a season we've had.
What a season.
So that's it from me. Just what a season, basically.
Cool. Right. Bit from the sponsors then.
This week's episode is sponsored by Comscaff.
Commercial Scaffolding, or Comscaff, are a Hull-based company formed over 30 years ago.
They offer a safe and professional scaffolding service nationwide.
For services and enquiries, you can go to comscaff.co.uk or call 01482 782 181.
Right. Hey, you two.
Stop giggling.
Yeah. Let's talk about our game then.
Season done.
Yeah, season.
Done.
Don't say it like you've decided.
It's over.
I decided.
Don't say it with disappointment either.
No,
Oh,
I'm not. No. 100% I am not disappointed. We'll get into our feelings afterwards. But onto the game itself, for me it was a typical Catalan performance. Big up front, solid up front, led by a couple of smart halfbacks leading them around the pitch, and we just couldn't really live with that for most parts.
No, it was frustrating, but again, 27th game in the league, and I'd probably say out of them 27, 26 of them, including this one, this was the 26th game where I can walk away from that stadium, head held high, proud of the lads that pulled the shirt on.
100%.
Is it the Huddersfield game that you can't be proud
It's
of?
Huddersfield at Magic, yeah. It's probably the only game. And even then, it's not because of a lack of effort in that game, it was just misdirected aggression.
What about the second Huddersfield game?
What about the Wigan game? At home, earlier on in the season?
No, that
No,
was
'cause
still... this Wigan were just class.
Right, okay. fair
Yeah,
enough.
we still put 100% effort into that Huddersfield game and
No, it was...
into that Wigan game.
It was the Magic Weekend
it was the
game.
Magic Weekend game where it was just Anyway, it proved to be pointless anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? Even if we'd have won, we'd have still not made the playoffs. So it made no difference. It would have been nice to get a win, obviously, come away from the season. But then we hadn't won our last game of the season since 2014.
Wow.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, 2014.
Richard
That's
Orne's last
that,
game
isn't it?
against Leeds, I think that was 2014.
And how many years is it since you've been in the playoffs now?
2020. I
5.
think. 5 now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything?
Yes.
I'm waiting
Yeah,
for a
don't
dig.
know where to go from that. Thanks.
No,
No, you're talking about progress, aren't you? I mean, like, the Catalan game for me played out exactly how, and I'm often wrong, as everybody knows, but exactly how I predicted it. That forward battle would be too much for you ultimately, given a million circumstances, young kids in your team, fatigue over the year, players in different positions, blah, blah, blah. They did exactly how I predicted, which is unfortunate you didn't get to end on a win. But I think you can be proud of the effort, as you say, from that game, like you did the rest of it.
Like,
But then, in terms of the game itself, like, I don't really know what there is really to cover now. Like, I know we're here to cover the game, and Dean might want to because it looks like he's got a shitload of stuff written down.
no, it's just on everything else.
But yeah, like the main talking points for me now is just the season and how I felt walking out of that stadium. Me and Dean both said the same thing as we walked out of the stadium. We were on the concourse and we both said, looking back on the season, that's probably the first time since
2017, I think we said.
Yeah,
That we've walked away from a season and gone, I'm quite content with that.
I enjoyed the
I
season.
enjoyed my season. I enjoyed the full... Yeah, these things we would change, but if you would have just thrown everything that we've just saved up at the season in front of me at the beginning, I'd have been, okay.
Yeah, that's it. And you're looking at it with hindsight, whereas if you would have been offered that at the start of the season,
Yeah.
the person offering you it wouldn't have had any hands left because you
I'd
just
have
took them as well. So
Snap their hands right off.
yeah, absolutely. So looking back, obviously, it's easy with hindsight to say, oh, well, if this had have been different or this had have been different. But
Of course it is. If we'd have
you know,
switched on at Magic a little bit early and not been a couple of idiots on the pitch and tried smashing people when we didn't need to and probably come away with a win, and we'd have not had the foot out in touch with
Yeah.
Briscoe against Lee. These things like that, yeah. But
No, he did have his foot out in touch.
Yeah.
If the referee had
Oh.
seen it, yeah.
Look, for what it's worth, I think I'm pleased that you guys are happy with that. I think that people that are trying to, in banter groups between Rovers and FC, won't be able to understand perhaps why you're so pleased with a 7th place because you've missed the playoffs and so on. And it's such a vastly different season to obviously what we've had that it is incomparable. But
Yeah.
what I would say is, and this will come across wrong, I don't mean it as a dig, but I think it's the right place for you. Honestly, when I'm looking at the teams in the league this year, Wakey have got a better chance of doing an upset for me in the top 6
Yes.
with the quality they've got, the quality they've provided throughout the season. You know, I think that they have been a better team than you. Only just, I mean, you've obviously had a number of issues in terms of injuries, probably in terms of understanding your game plan at times with your inconsistencies that I've mentioned quite a lot on here. And I think that it's about perfect for you to finish there because it's enough to see that progress from last year. It doesn't give you any false runs, and yeah, anything can happen in playoffs. You can beat any team, but it doesn't give you any false runs in the playoffs. It gives you a longer pre-season to recoup and have a look at who's doing what, to think about all these new signings you're bringing in, to think about the young guys, whether you keep them, whether they get a spot next year. And I think it's probably worked out in terms of building for success next year and the year after. It's probably absolutely perfect for the club and where the club's at.
I would have loved a trip to Lee on Friday night. I'm not going to lie. That'd have been the cherry on the top. I'd have took a 50-0 loss, but just to have that playoff game again was something we hadn't had for so long. Even in 2020, we didn't get to experience it because we want there.
I think that's where me and you differ in it.
Yeah.
Like, because my worry with the team that we've got at the minute, with all the injuries and the suspensions and stuff, I was worried that if we had have snuck into the playoffs, that we'd have gone away to Lee and they'd have put a big score on us, and it would have put a dampener on the season, and that could have potentially put a dampener on the players going into the off season. You know, I'm content and happy with the way that the season finished. It was a strong effort against the Catalan side that inevitably were just too strong for our kids again. Yeah, would I liked to have been able to say yes, we made it into the playoffs? Yes, definitely. But I was very worried that we'd have just got smashed away at
Bit
League.
of a bridge too far kind of a scenario.
Yeah.
I think what I'd quite like to see from sort of a collectiveness from FC is that push to say the target is top 6. Now, unfortunately from you guys, all we've heard for 3 years in a row is top 4. So we had it from Texhoy, top 4 material. We had it this year, you know, we're going to be a top 4 team. And
This
now,
year?
yeah,
Who from?
it was from.
Want anyone in the club?
The club made a point of not
It
releasing their
was
targets.
the interview with Jed Cartwright when he came over to come and be a top 4 team.
Yeah, I don't think he meant
not
this season though.
ultimately.
Right? And then we've already heard from his dad now that the push is to be a top 4 team again next year. Let's cut that nonsense out. I'm not saying you can't do it, right? But you don't want to be a wire.
No.
It's always your year. Build properly and focus and say, next year we've got more than enough, and we've got enough players coming in with 10 overseas signings that we need to be looking
It
at
has
top
to be
6,
a playoff spot.
and it's playoff.
Whether that's
the-
second, third,
Don't
fourth,
set
fifth,
your
sixth.
heights too high.
No.
I'll say it straight, and people can call me out if they want. If we had a better handle on our S&C and our injuries, I fully believe that we would have been in the top 6. And I don't think it would have been a scrape into the top 6. I think we would have been firmly, you know, in the 6, pulling away. But
No. I can't agree with that.
what, you're trying to tell me that if Asiata didn't miss all them games,
No,
that
but
we wouldn't
like
have-
I
how
made-
many of them games did we come on this
I
podcast
made a point.
and say, hold on, let me finish. How many games did we come onto this podcast and say we hugely missed Asiata,
Yeah.
we could have won that game with Asiata?
But you can't blame the S&C. We have got a small squad as it is.
I'm not
So
I'm not blaming.
them few injuries. Let me finish. Them few injuries. We only had a few injuries. It wasn't like a massive problem with the SNC. We had a few injuries, and just because we've got a small bunch to pick from of top quality, it affected us. Where next year, if we have them same amount of injuries, we haven't got the excuse because we've got a bigger pool to pick from. So
Yeah, but
next year, you probably yes, SNC.
the problem that I had with the injuries was it was the same injury multiple times to multiple players. Something was wrong with the way that team was training, whether it was the pitch they were training on. Something was wrong, and it's all well and good signing all these players that we've signed for next season, but next season the biggest change that we need to make as a team, as a club, is that S&C department and making sure the players stay fit.
I know we've discussed this. I'm sorry for sowing that seed of discord between you there and then sitting back and laughing, but that is correct, and you've got to look at that. We've discussed before that S&C must be a concern, but you also need to look at the players you're signing. Like, you signed Batchelor, great. The two brothers are going to go at each other. Injured,
if they
repeat injuries,
yeah.
and he's over the wrong side of 30 to be playing that position. So you sometimes start questioning your recruitment choices as well when you start saying, because we've had this battle on here before about, well, he doesn't have an injury history, but Asiata does. Price now has to be classed as having an injury history. Even though they're not the same, but he's had 2 big, and now you signed another player, and you've got to start looking at that and say, well, actually, is it a mixture of things?
I like the fact we have signed some older heads. It doesn't help the fact that when we was rumoured to sign Bell and Batchelor from Saints, that they've both been sat on the injury list for the last 3 months and have only just come back. But we are forgetting we are signing younger players like Harvey Hill, Connor Bailey, players like that. So we have got a few more older players, but we also have got a few more younger players. But we need them younger players to be able to step up if them older players pick up injuries next year. And I think we have got a better balance this next year than this year. And I think in 2027, again, we'll have a better balance because it's you can't just change overnight. Like these signing circle. these circles of transfer business take it's not just 1 year, it's over multiple years, like what you've done yourselves.
And I think the signings that we've made will allow, definitely the Bell signing will allow Asiata to play less minutes, less chance of injury. So there is going to be hopefully a bit more rotation within the squad based on the signings that we've pulled in. That will assist with the improvement needed, that I still believe is needed in terms of the S&C, and we'll
like yourself,
we'll see.
like a couple of players that spring to mind for you. Coop from Saints when you were starting building, and Ryan Hall, Sean Kenny Dowell. Look, Sean Kenny Dowell just a freak. He never got injured for some reason, but players like that we've
just got banned for his last ever game for us.
A bit like John Rapana for us.
Did he play for you?
You are very close to JWH following in his footsteps as well.
Oh, right.
We'll get onto that in the next bit.
What do you mean we'll get onto it?
Well, because this is the FC section.
We are going to get onto it. Can I ask you a question on that? And I am sorry to interrupt in the middle of the FC, but
go on.
It's going. JWH, in last week's game, got penalised for a high shot on a falling player. Right?
Dirty.
Nothing's been picked up in the disciplinary, right? The player stayed down holding his head and the doctor came on.
Yeah.
Right? So it was my understanding that therefore a green card would be issued because the doctor has entered the field of play.
I think a penalty was...
So I asked this question online and got downvoted by a host of Wigan fans who thought I was being salty. Right? It was a genuine question. My misinterpretation of the rules.
Did you get pulled up for a penalty?
Yeah, it got penalised. The response I got...
So no, you don't get green carded then?
Yeah.
Because
that was my
if
understanding.
the penalty then becomes the overriding rule and the player's allowed to stay on. Right, when we're talking about the sport as a farce, how does that make any sense? If the player's got a head injury, it doesn't matter if he gets the penalty, the player gets red carded, yellow carded, or it isn't a high tackle. If a doctor's entered the field of play, you have to go off and have an assessment. The penalty isn't to cover it.
No, that's the doctor's opinion. It's up to the doctor to decide if you need an assessment. But if you go down and cause a stoppage in play...
And hold your head.
Right, regardless of what it is, if you go down and create a stoppage in play in any other situation other than where it leads to a penalty being given, yes, it's a green card. But if a penalty is given, so if you've gone down because of foul play, which is what happened here, there's no green card. It's not your fault you've gone down. It's the guy who conceded the penalty. So I get where you're coming from, but with regards to the holding your head, it's up to the doctor to decide if you need an assessment or not.
I thought it was more of a whiplash sort of injury than a head injury, because the contact with Fulis' head is very, very minimal, if any, and it's more because he's falling and then he's hit Jared and his neck snapped back.
So now you're blaming him?
No, I'm not blaming him. He
So
slipped.
he hit Jared. So he should be... Jared should have got
Yeah,
a penalty.
absolutely.
Anyways, yeah,
You
it was
twisted
all
my
wrong
words
from
there, but
that.
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, go on.
Go on.
No, you go.
Go on.
All right, fair enough.
No,
So
you go.
We've done
no,
all
you
the...
go.
Shut up.
Lewis Martin.
Legend. Hall of Famer.
Worst player I've ever seen step on a rugby pitch in my life.
Yeah.
No, Lewis,
No.
not Reese.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. We're good.
From me and James anyway, congratulations. Because
100%.
top try scorer this season in Super League, 25 tries in total. He bagged 32 from 30 games in all competition.
That's impressive.
So not bad for his first. Is it his first full season, would you say? He played a lot of games last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he
But
sort of crept in last season, but he didn't play the full season.
Well, last year he nearly came under the ruling of the minutes.
So he did play a lot of minutes last year.
Yeah.
So
I won't class it as a full season, though, because he didn't really have like
all right,
a
his
a
breakthrough
pre-season.
season this year.
This is definitely a
this is
breakthrough
definitely.
season.
When he comes second in Young Player of the Year awards. Do you know what's interesting in the Martin one? Because absolute congratulations to him, because that's a very healthy amount of tries. That's great effort. On the list, when you go down in Super League, do you know Carl Felt had 20?
Did he really?
He missed 10 games.
How many did he score against Salford?
Well, that's the point, isn't it? But it's still a hell of a amount,
it is,
isn't
to be
it?
fair.
But yeah, well done to Martin.
Also, along with Lewis Martin, congratulations to him and SASA Dream Team selection this season.
Play half a season and get in the dream team now.
Misses 3 or 4
SASA missed
games.
3 games in Super League.
Half season for a prop.
In my
Still
eyes,
probably
thoroughly
played more
deserved.
minutes than any other prop as well.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Just on the Martin one, did you see that? The only player in Super League, I think, to play every minute of every game.
I think there was 3.
Was there 3?
Yeah, there was
But
3.
that's, for a kid of his age...
But he also played every minute of every other game as well.
Cup game as well,
yeah, with the cup
Absolutely.
And the
like,
10 minutes
that's-
extra time against Lee.
game.
Yeah, like saying before we started recording tonight, that would be a concern for me. I think that in terms of sometimes wingers don't take as much physical punishment, you can argue, but the amount of metres and work he gets through, he does, and he's still young. He's obviously proven that he's able to withstand it, but the lad must be knackered. And you do want to maybe manage that better if you can.
But we didn't make the playoffs, so he's got a good rest between now and the Ashes, hasn't he, sir?
Well, where's he going to be watching that?
I don't think he'll get on the pitch in the Ashes, and that controversial to some old fans, but I don't think he will. He don't fit the way that Wayne plays.
No, I just don't think
I don't think he's
throw him
much
into that yet.
He's not ready for that yet.
And he's still got a lot to learn.
Defensively, he's not a liability, but defensively he's made mistakes this year and he's made bad reads that partly have been the players around him, partly have been him, because that's part of growing to be a Super League level winger. And
he's not growing alongside a young centre.
Yeah, he's not ready to be in that position, but he is absolutely showing all the attributes to be an England level winger.
100%.
Scoring
Don't
that many
rush him into
tries
it.
doesn't mean that you're ready to play for England or that you'll do a job.
Don't rush him into it.
I wouldn't have him in the squad this season. Give him the time to rest. Like you say, I agree, he's not quite ready. There's other players that are more fitting to take up that role. But yeah, another player I want to mention. I know we're doing an awards thing next week, but Zach Hardacre. Like, over the course of the season, we got asked early on in the season, what's it going to take for him to prove you wrong, Josh, more so than anyone else, but 100% on the field and off the field.
Well, he scooped the three main awards last night at the Player of the Season.
I think what's been really nice to see on this, I'd said from day one, I don't worry about him on the field.
It's off.
And I actually think he's probably performed better than expected on the field as well.
Yeah,
that's really
the
fair.
thing for me.
That's probably the most... I think for players that didn't doubt him, that's probably the most shocking thing. I think for people like myself that doubted him being able to hold it together off the field, which I'm so pleased he has, don't ever mistake any of our long-term listeners that I wanted him to fail. I don't want that from any professional. I wanted him to get his head screwed on. And he obviously has, which is great to see, and he's been a talisman for you guys. It's been great over the last sort of couple of days since the end of the season and since your awards this week that you've got Hull fans that are commenting saying, I'm sorry I doubted you, or I'm so glad you've proven me wrong, because this wasn't a red and white glasses thing. This was a lot of Rugby League fans doubting him, including FC fans.
I questioned the signing, and again, not because what he brings on the pitch, but because of all the things that we've heard or what he has done off the pitch. So
I think what's the most credit that he deserves, the thing you need to give him the most credit for on the pitch at least, is the guy was signed to play centre. In Super League he played centre twice. Or he was listed as centre in the starting
pretty bad centre
lineup.
Always
twice.
out of position.
Yeah. He played half-back twice, he played full-back 6 times, and he played second row 13 times. I know he played other positions
next year then.
But as in starting lineups, that's where he's listed. He also got listed as he did play centre or started centre for 2 Challenge Cup games, Wigan and Rovers. But for the thing for me is, it doesn't matter where he started. He won man of the matches regardless of where he started. It's fantastic.
He's been brilliant, and I bet he's been great for the young lads off the pitch as well, which is good to hear and good to know. We'll jump on to Player of the Season awards, because there was held last night, Monday evening.
I was doing an awards special next week.
We're doing our awards special, so we need to decide who we think.
Oh, well, we've prepared to do our awards. That's why we didn't include
I put it in the group this morning, and Dean was like, it's next week.
No, our awards. This is Hull FC's the awards night last night.
I was on about ours.
So next week's episode is going to be a lot based on, like, who do we think was the best player? Who do we think was the young player of the year?
I don't think that was clear, Craig, do you?
No, not all.
Blame Susan.
Me and Susan, because we had the phone call on Sunday.
Blame Dean and
all right,
Susan.
so we'll get on to them. But yeah,
blame
and they're the future of the behind the camera as well. We've got no chance.
Oh yeah,
he's not going anywhere until I find a replacement.
Apply, people.
Applications.
So all right, couple of players we need to mention. John Lane played his last game for FC on Thursday night. Very emotional after the match. He was clearly in tears.
I mean, he got offered a contract.
Not as good as the one he's taken.
Definitely not.
No,
definitely not. So since this season when he's played, I can't fault the guy. last season there was a lot of questions, but that was every player who pulled on a shirt. But this season he's done really well, especially his back end. He's come in from his injury and really complimented the team.
And it was one of them injuries as well that you can't really I can't blame the S&C department for him breaking his arm, can I?
Yeah, I think it was in the derby. I think he broke his arm.
S&C needs to get him drinking more milk, strengthen them bones.
Because he was true busy trying to swing it at Rovers players.
Oh, here we go. But no, and all the best to him at Castleford. I do hope he goes well. Liam Watt's departure was also confirmed last night on Monday evening.
I'm actually surprised at that.
I had a feeling we might keep him.
Yeah, because he didn't get announced on the initial list, did he, to say that he was leaving?
No.
So they were clearly still in talks with him. The only thing I can think of is that maybe a London or a York, probably York.
I think a Featherstone, so something along them lines.
I think that you're probably overlooking just how many players you've already announced that you're going to have next year. You've already filled up the 10 quota spots, and then
he's English,
and we've got to get that balance right.
The point of them 10 quota spots are not them 10 to be forwards, and you kind of make a decision. For me, you start making a decision on people like Cartwright, injury prone.
Are we going down this route again?
Doesn't play a lot of games for you this year. You're backing that horse, or you're backing the Watts horse, and you know what you're getting with him. There's all these decisions, and I think that this maybe he was offered and he didn't want. He got a better offer, but there's also a thing to understand that it's not as if you're short on troops now.
No, we're not.
You have been announcing a lot of players.
So along with Watsy leaving, of Jordan Lane, obviously we've mentioned John Rapana retiring. Retired, yeah, now done. Delivered the match ball on Thursday, so that was nice. The East Ham was singing "All Faithful" and he was joining in. And
did he drop it?
No, he had his kid in his arm.
Did he try and punch it? Not the kid, the ball.
Was he supposed to go
well
to the middle
done on
of
a
the
great
pitch?
career,
Did he walk off in the wrong direction and leave a big gap?
If you're having a go at him, you're going to have a go at the next one. Also leaving Jack Ashworth.
Oh, what a shame.
What a shame, yeah. Jack Charles, Will Gardner,
What's
Zach
he pursuing a career in the UFC?
Owen Haldenby. Shut up, Josh. And
WWE,
Sam Essay, obviously leaving, returning to parent club Wigan Warriors. He's been really good for us this year, so I hope he builds on this year and goes well for the Warriors next year. And pretty much done and dusted. Well, we announced Harvey Hill from Wigan.
Everyone knew.
And we're also rumoured to sign Arthur Romano from Catalans next year. It's not been confirmed yet, but
when that gets confirmed, it'll be a case of me saying, everyone knew.
Yeah. It's like all of our
Dan
signings
Tomlinson just ruins everything, I think, for the social media team at Hull FC. Maybe he's been told he's allowed to say it or whatever, but the social media. If I was on the social media team at Hull FC and I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, we announced Batchelor and Bell on the same evening. It was like, yeah, we'd known that.
Yeah,
for
we found
4
out in
months.
March.
But yeah, all sorted. Another season done.
Finished.
Yeah.
I'm quite glad that I need a rest. Not from watching, from this. I need a rest from this.
We've still got
Well,
about 4 or 5
more to go,
episodes.
yeah.
I know.
What you've got to look forward to is obviously how far we can run into the playoffs. All our discussions on them games, and then we need to do our wrap up. Obviously, what we haven't done tonight, what you've just done, the players and the staff that are leaving. One that's really upset me actually. Who's leaving our club?
Jimmy McDaniel, by any chance?
Very upsetting. But yeah, so you've got a long way to go, Jimmy, is my point, because we've still got a lot to talk about from the red and white side of the city.
Yeah. What now?
It's you.
Is it me now? Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if
You've got
we
a
were
schedule in front of you.
No, I didn't know if we'd finished talking.
I
Because
said we're done. FC. That's it. Finished.
oh my
Dean's pod,
God.
remember?
Sorry for anyone
Dean's
that's
gonna break the
wondering
rule
what's
as
going
well,
on
so I do
screen.
apologise.
Susan's having a night off, so I have to do the buttons again. It's like the olden days. Bosh. There we go. Right. I ain't had a text or anything off Amy this week, so these are all assumptions, but I think they're fair assumptions. The fair assumption are that both of the playoff games will be on at Tribal, hopefully on the big screen. They're both on separate days, aren't they?
Yeah.
One on Friday, one on Saturday.
Yeah.
Both at 8 p.m, am I right in saying that?
Not sure
Yes,
on that.
yeah, I think that's right.
8 p.m. on a Saturday?
8 p.m. on a Saturday.
Wow. Yeah, and if you are coming and you are an Hull or a Rovers fan, don't forget to bring your season pass. I'm going to have to fish mine out because I've already put mine in my little shoebox.
We won't forget it because it's on our phones.
Ours will
Which
be
you'll
from
be
next
forever
season.
for
Yeah.
next season.
Actually, I think it's probably gone off our phones now.
No, my last year's is still on there.
Does it not stay? Stay in your wallet?
Yeah, my last year one is.
Or even if you're a Leaf fan and you find yourself in the parts, bring your season pass and see if you can chance your arm.
24, 25.
Excellent.
Yeah. So if you are a season pass holder, don't forget to bring them in. That's for Hull FC and Rovers season pass holders, not Lee season pass holders. 15% off any orders that have got food and drinks. And if I'm wrong,
Blame Amy.
blame Amy, but the food and the drinks are still really good. Josh,
Talk about some news.
talk about some news.
There's quite a bit this week, actually. I've had to narrow down to, I think, a few key points.
As
that we
I
might wanna
found
touch
out.
upon. Yeah.
Earlier on today.
What you've got on your phone there, I actually screenshotted that. I was going to send you it, and I think that is fantastic
And
information.
that will be our final point of the night on news.
Oh, okay.
I sent that in this morning. He was like, I've already got it.
I know he was on it, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was this
Everything
week.
that was sent in, got it.
First up on news today, then, Wigan have announced that they have managed to tie down Paul Deacon as an assistant coach on a 3-year deal.
Big news.
Very good bit of business for them. This, since he left Sale Sharks and came in, he's been working as an attack coach for them. A guy we all know from years gone by and some of his heights that he's done, winning stuff with Bradford and with Wigan. I believe he's a grand final winner with Wigan, and maybe even a Challenge Cup
Yeah, he
winner
went back
with
to Wigan to win the grand final.
2010, 2011 time. But that's a good signing for them and one for us all to be a bit fearful of. Maybe a replacement for Pete in the mid to
Could
far off
possibly,
future.
yeah.
But somebody that's great to see back in rugby league and away from rugby union. The women's grand final
You
has
will
been...
laugh, but he's right.
He is right.
It's the type of people I want to see coming back in. It's people like
Andy
Lee,
Farrell back.
people like Lee Radford going off and doing such a good job. Kevin Sinfield going off and doing great jobs working for the England Rugby Union international setup. These are talents and people that we want in our game, but they're going out because there's not that many jobs. Paul Cook spoke about this on the pod when he was saying there isn't that many roles available for ex-players that get into coaching compared to rugby union. So when we can
12 big jobs, there's 12 assistant jobs in Super League. That's 24 jobs for all these ex-players and all these coaches. It's not a lot.
we're going to doing something a little bit different. We've done it a bit at Rovers, by having Danny Ward and Skid in there. But Wigan seem to have 4 or 5 ex-players that they have. They have Lulu Wise, an assistant coach as well. So it's just good to see names like that coming back in. And Paul Deacon, who is a bit of an ex-star of the sport, but quite a famous name as well.
Yeah. Often overlooked as well because
got
Sean
Dennis
Long was in the
Betts.
same.
I always thought you looked like Paul Deacon.
A lot of people used to say that, yeah.
Wigan have got Dennis Betts as well. I think he's the women's coach.
He is the women's coach, yeah.
Moving on then, the women's grand final is now confirmed. So on Sunday the 5th of October at the Brick Stadium, it will be Wigan versus Saints. Should be a fiery one and should be a good game.
Should be played at a neutral ground.
That should be played at Lee.
Yeah.
I can't comment on that, but that's where it'll be played. London, obviously a lot of news going on at London with Darren Lockyer officially being announced as an owner now, who's a majority stakeholder and owner.
Sent you that as well.
Yeah, they have now announced their new head coach on a 3-year deal,
And that.
which will be Jason Demetrio, who has been signed on a 3-year deal, who is the current PNG Cumul's coach. Not clear on what's going to happen with that role for him, but it definitely when that ends, he'll be coming over to take up the mantle in the new year for London.
NRL
You must feel
experience
like
as well.
like a professional presenter when you do this, because by the sounds of it, you don't collate any of your own information. You just rock up and read what he's written.
Yeah, it's all Craig's news. News from around the Craig.
Take that.
So call it Craig's News, presented by Josh.
And then the final one that Craig sent.
Craig.
Um,
Craig o'clock news.
Some real good news. So you might have seen the post on social media, but it's record numbers for the 2025 season for Super
I'll send
League.
you it.
So Super League are now announcing the highest cumulative attendance record has been beaten. So 1.62 million fans have attended matches live and in stadiums this year. This beats the last record by 15,000, which was actually from 2008. So it's taken 17 years for us to come back and beat this record, which is fantastic to see. The average attendance of each game has touched over 10,000 for the first time in Super League history. I know that is an attendance across all games, but over 10k is a great number to see.
Yeah, that is good.
The average officially 10,044, so just crept over, but managed to beat that mark. From a digital point of view, in terms of great numbers that we've seen, up 27% from 2024, so 5.6 million engagement views, which covers likes and things like that on social media. 278 million impressions across all social media. This is up 83% from 2024, which is massive, almost doubling, massive numbers. And 152 million video views across social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter or X and things like that. This is a 95% increase from 2024. So absolutely huge again. And then finally, from a broadcasting point of view, across Sky Sports and BBC, a 50% increase in the average match viewership in what we've seen. So,
hopefully that goes towards a better TV deal in the future. If you've got 50% more people watching, they are more inclined to put a better deal together for.
We love to slag the RFL off. We love to say we're doing things wrong. I've got my doubts around the expansion to 14 teams. Wigan have now got my doubts about their expansion to 14 teams. I'm concerned about the money being split evenly. You're having to split it. We aren't going to get any more money from Sky, it doesn't appear. So you're now going to lessen the amount that's split from, it used to be 12 teams, now 14.
More pressure on owners.
More pressure on the owners and the financial side. However, these are positive things and we should celebrate when we are doing something right, and hopefully, maybe not in the very near future, but hopefully in a year or two when deals are to be renewed, this goes to show that there is a product to be sold to a higher bidder, whether that's Sky or somebody else, and we can keep generating money that comes into the clubs and keep growing the sport we love. So we need to celebrate wins like this.
Do you know what I really like about that bit of news in terms of the attendance and all that sort of stuff? Your attendances all year, I don't know exactly what your attendances will be, but you'll turn around and say you've sold out every week, which is what you've done. I don't know what that figure looks like.
Not this week, because Warrington only brought 90 fans.
No, but I mean from a home fan perspective. Yeah. FC this season's average crowd 12,159, which is their highest in 15 years. So it's the highest average attendance in 15 years.
On last year.
And our opening fixture against Wigan was the highest non-derby home crowd in I think about the same period of time. I'm just trying to read it since 2017. Yeah, there you go. Dean knows. I'm trying to read it.
I'm just guessing because it's last time we was good. So
yeah, it's just great from both sides. Like, great to see that your success on the field and what your owners have done for you over the last number of years has meant that your crowds are increased to pretty much as big as they can be. You'll probably expand the stadium again in the off season, and then great to see that after one season of having this new ownership, these two new owners, and this new feel good factor that we've got, our attendances.
That's all it takes.
Hopefully it'll go up even more now. Fans show that the club are moving in the right directions, and it's not just empty words, which we've had for so many years. Because I still know a lot of fans that have stayed away.
Yeah, fans come back, don't they? Look at City.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have another increase on that next season, and yourselves, you'll probably increase, like James said, if it
was 2017, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah.
Good guess. So it's good for rugby league in the city. More people watching our sport, the sport that us four love, can only be a good thing.
That wraps up news from around the world.
You're next.
I'm not.
But you're pulling out because you don't want to do it. No, it's all right. No, we were going to do Listeners Lounge, but Craig's bus was shit and got him here late, so we ain't got time for that. Just before we touch on predictions...
So we will do them next week.
Yes,
we will do.
Thank you for your question.
There's no games to recap next week, is there? So
as long as Craig's bus isn't late. Just before we touch on predictions...
As long as Susan don't put his missus before me, we'll be all right.
Honestly, I wish I had more time to edit out stuff that you said.
Why?
Just before we get to Craig's bit...
Did Craig also send you this morning?
Can you edit him out as well? I mean, I can follow Dean if you want. You and Josh can just do it.
Mate, it's you that needs to get off to work.
Exactly why I'm waylaying.
Anyway, just before we get onto predictions for Craig, I just want to remind people, because I am a money grabber, just that, there is a thing at the bottom of the screen. It's not quite there just yet, but I am doing the London Marathon in April. That'll be obviously a struggle I've mentioned before that I suffer with MS. I'm also meant to have had surgery last week, but I'm now having it in 2 weeks, so 2-3 less weeks to train. But yeah, if you can, it'd be fantastic if you can scan the QR code when it pops up on screen, or we'll put a link in the bio for anyone that's on it, like Spotify or Apple, anything like that. So yeah, it'd be really appreciated. Goes a long way to help
You
people.
have had some good contributions as well from listeners and viewers so far, so yeah, that's really appreciated.
Two Bry Watsons, sorry. So I think we've got 2 Bry Watsons that watch this, but I really want to give a...
Have you not just misread and one was Barry and one was Bry?
No, they both came through as Bry. So, and I think looking at the Twitter following, we do have 2 Bry Watsons that follow.
Shout out to the Brys.
Yeah, so
You're
thank
stalking
you very
our
much.
listeners now.
Yeah. So anyway, Craig,
Yeah,
Your time
Job
to shine.
it is. Yeah.
real quick because you've got work.
I've got something that'll make you chuckle just before I get into this. So, somebody approached me at the ground, not in the toilet, I might add, although somebody did approach me in the toilet, but that was another story entirely. Kid called Joe stands near me in the East End. He went, "Love the podcast. I listen all the time." I was like, "Oh, that's great to hear." He was like, "Yeah, it gets me through detention." And I was like, "I'm not sure that's why we started to do this podcast." I said, "But if it helps you, then we're good to go." So,
That's
You know what,
so
if it-
much
if
more
it's-
innocent than the couple of fans that I spoke to on Thursday night. One who just said about liking the pod, shout to him, but the other one who was like, straight on at you guys. Because that's the mixture I get. I either get someone that says they love the pod, or I get someone that says, "I love it when you give it to them black and whites." And they're like the mixtures I get. I never get anything like that.
I usually get Dean's nice, but Jimmy's a dick.
I'll take that.
Genuinely.
Yeah, it's not wrong. But what I do like about that is, you know, this Joe lad he's got struggles. He's in detention, but he's found something to focus his mind on. Right, it's a real positive that we are giving back to the community in such a way. So, Joe, tell your parents.
He didn't tell you that he's 28 and he's the teacher.
But no. So,
Do you
anyways.
reckon the teachers that host detentions?
Oh, they don't care. They sit there with their
but
feet up.
do you
in the
reckon they're
newspaper.
in there because they've done something wrong at work?
No, I think it works around on a rope period, if I'm honest. Just to kill that.
Yeah, fair enough. Thanks.
I'm sure Lauren will let me know at
Do
some
your
point
thing.
because she's a
Do your
teacher.
thing.
Might have
So.
jumped the shark there, boys.
What? Jump the shark? Not heard that before.
I'll explain later.
Okay. Anyways, predictions. Just the 2 fixtures this week as we enter the playoffs. Friday night, I believe, is Lee versus Wakefield over at the LSV.
Whoa. No. Let's go back a step. Let's celebrate my week just gone by.
No, let's not.
Because last week when Dean was, so it's between Susan, me and Jimmy to decide who picks. Unless Josh does something amazing. What did Josh go and do? Every result right. 2 in the margins. Grand Slam bonus point. And now who's top of the league?
You and Dean.
Me and you.
Me and you.
With me and Susan a point behind. So you're on like 132.5 with Dean, and me and Susan are
And
131.
then Craig.
I'm on about
Where's them
119.
binoculars?
I'm downstairs somewhere.
Just scroll from if you want.
So just because we don't
Seconds.
quite know how the scoring's going to work out in the playoffs, we've not given him the wooden spoon yet, but we imagine it's going to go to him.
Can I carry on now, please, sir?
Of course you can, mate.
Thank you.
You better hope one of them Rovers lads wins.
I'll do anything as long as it doesn't involve wearing an old shirt. I will.
So you
I'll
better
arrange-
hope one of them Rovers
I
lads.
just won't do it. I'll just refuse.
Go
What
on.
are people's thoughts online for Josh saying he's not going to do it? I want to know what
Craig.
people's
Craig.
thoughts. Craig saying he's not going to do it.
Whoa.
Sorry, Josh. Sorry.
I've been in Portugal and you've been refusing to put a Rover shirt on before, pal.
I did it though, didn't I?
Very begrudgingly.
It was either that or shave my beard off, and I won't shave
I'll
my
shave
beard
my beard off.
so-
Why did you have to do either?
We were meant to shave our beard off before we went.
Because we're children.
Yeah.
Because despite how old it says in our passports, we're actually 15 years old.
What if he didn't?
I'd probably had my head
I
kicked
think
in
it's
by about 15 other
I think
lads.
it's probably the peer pressure eventually and just kind of the non-stop aggro of...
I did.
I'd have just...
No, I bargained for it because it was England were playing that day, and I said, right, I'll wear the Rover shirt until England kick off, and then put my England shirt back on, and people accepted that, so I did it. I wore a Rover shirt for about an hour and a half.
Loved it.
An hour and a half
That's
too
what
long.
changed him. That's why this season he's been such a big fan.
And then he was down in the East Stand for the Salford game. Yeah.
Craig's got work. Can we press on,
wanna go.
please?
Go on,
I
Craig.
best not say things like that. Anyways, I'll start again. Over at the LSV as we enter the playoffs, Friday night, Lee versus Wakefield. Should be a good game. I think Wakefield might struggle a little bit because we've got Jowett out with his failed HIA.
Joint top point scorer in the league.
Is he really? He's class off the tee though, so that doesn't surprise me.
I didn't know he golfed.
Yeah, and on the rugby tee as well. Lee by 10.
I've gone for Lee by 10.
Lee by 8.
My cable special, Lee by 7.
So I need Lee to win by 15. So I get the half a bonus point. Then Saturday night, also 8 p.m, as we discussed briefly, shortly a while ago.
I'm liking that they've got away from the Thursday night game for the playoffs and they've got like a Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah. Over at Headingley, West Yorkshire, Leeds versus Saints. Again, should be another good game. I've got Leeds by 8.
I've got Leeds by 8, which means we've got the exact same predictions, haven't we, I believe?
We have.
I'm expecting 2 close games. The Leeds one, for me, I can't see them not playing Jake Connor. But we discussed before we started recording, and it's just them feelings. It wouldn't surprise me to see Saints do them. And it shouldn't happen. Leeds are a better team. They're in better form. But it's just one of them weird things with knockout rugby. And if Jake Connor doesn't play, I could see it being Saints by a couple.
Haven't Saints beaten Leeds 2 or 3 times this year? Did they beat them in the Cup and a couple of times in the league? Or
They've definitely beaten at
In the
least the
league,
once in
yeah.
the league.
But I think they beat them home and away. I could be wrong, so you can correct me. But yeah, I would not be surprised to see Saints go to Headingley and win. Especially Leeds have come off 2 iffy results. Bad results, really. But I'm going safe, and I'm saying Leeds by 5.
Leeds by 4.
Ooh. That's it.
And
Feels
that's
real
it.
weird, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, just a 2, yeah. That's it. So, yeah.
Do you want to talk about stop you going to work?
I best go because I'll get in trouble.
Go to detention, won't he? They'll have to listen to the podcast.
I'll just skip the bits where I talk.
Won't be able to listen to it then.
I just want to say to anyone watching, if you can comment on the video quality, that'd be great because we've got a new camera that cost a fair bit of money. I just want to know if it made any difference at all. Like, if you are watching on YouTube, just give us a comment on the camera quality. Just out of pure curiosity.
Probably better than the rugby league cameras. Do you see that
We
women's
should do a
one?
slow motion of us trying to
I
like.
told you I
score a
wanted to
try.
discuss something else.
I
You
did.
didn't want to leave.
I was going to talk about it earlier, but the time moved on. But I'm going to do it anyway because Jimmy brought it back round to cameras. In the women's semi-final, York versus St Helens, they slowed it down to slow-mo, and then the video referee says, "I can't make a decision because the video's gone too grainy."
Awful.
That's a state-of-the-art HD plus
for anyone listening, he
camera.
did the
inverted commas
Inverted
with my
commas.
fingers.
With its
Air
fingers.
yeah,
Like
Air
Dr.
Bunny.
Evil.
Yeah, horrendous, isn't it? Horrendous. So thank you, as always, to our sponsor, Comscaff, and thank you, as always, to the home of the pod, Tribal Bar and Grill. Sports Bar and Grill? Sports Bar?
It is a sport.
Tribal.
Yeah.
Kingswood.
Thank
Home
you
of
to
the pod.
Tribal and Kingswood. Obviously, always a pleasure to be here, and we do hope people do come and visit and enjoy the food and drinks. It is worthwhile coming. Final mention, be a bit of a pain, but it does really help us if you do like and if you do subscribe, particularly on YouTube as well, liking the videos on there, but subscribing on YouTube. Not only because you get the videos straight into your inbox and easy to view, it helps us going forward as well, so please do that.
It is a massive help for people as well because as the season winds down, the frequency of the episodes is going to slow down. So you might come on and think, "Oh, where's my episode?" If you subscribe, you know exactly when we've dropped an episode. So yeah, really good for end of this season and start of next. But on that note, see you bye.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.